Breaking right now, and from L.A. the city to L.A. the state, SWAT officers and police arriving on Tulane's campus there in Louisiana to disperse anti-Israel protesters. Now, according to local reports, several protesters have been arrested since rallies began 2 days ago. Of course, we have been monitoring the situation at UCLA, there in Los Angeles, in California, all morning as well.
Yeah, so if you thought that these pro-Palestinian protests and the chaos that's ensuing was going to stop at UCLA, you would be wrong. With that, let's bring in former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee to join us to discuss all that is going on. Governor, good morning to you. You know, it took Mayor Karen Bass, mayor of L.A., 3 hours to call the violence unfolding on UCLA's campus absolutely abhorrent and inexcusable. If you look at the images, Governor, it doesn't look like something that happens in the United States. It looks like images that unfold in a third world country. How did we get here?
Well, we got there by having people like Karen Bass and other mayors and governors across the country who have pushed us toward a third world. I mean, that's what we've got. You've got the former president of the United States on trial and these thugs who are creating incredible mayhem on university campuses. They're going to be, let out of jail in time to get a warm cup of milk and a donut before daylight. This is insane. No consequences. When people commit serious crimes and they impede not only the lives of others, but they engage in hateful behavior that is threatening to Jewish people, there's no consequence for it. And until there are serious consequences, this continues. I think we need to remember 1968, I heard it was Joe Concha earlier talking about it. I remember it well. They were screaming in the streets of Chicago, the whole world's watching. Well, they did, and they said to the Democrats that year, we're done with you. And I think we're going to see that again this year.
It's clear that these protests, let's call them what they are, riots in some cases, have spread well beyond just the coast. We see that video in there from Tulane University. Governor, if this spreads to the University of Arkansas, what do you expect the current governor of Arkansas to do about it, and what will the consequences to the rioters / protesters / agitators be?
Well, Todd, it'll be a very different situation than what you've seen in some of these states where you've got university presidents and governors and mayors wringing their hands and trying to be on the side of the rioters. I think the current governor of Arkansas would do what any sensible governor would do, what they've done in Texas and Florida and other red states. They say, no, we're going to not tolerate this. And they send in the police agencies, whether it's the state police, the local police, and they don't wait until they get an invitation handwritten and engraved. They go in and they stop this nonsense. And they do it for many reasons, the most important of which is they do it to protect students who just simply want to go to class. And, parents who pay, for example, at Columbia, $90,000 a year for their little darlings to go there, they ought to get their money back. And then they ought to have a class action lawsuit and sue the heck out of Columbia, same at Harvard and Yale and other Ivy League schools where parents pay so much, and say, you owe us money because you robbed my student of being able to have a safe and decent environment in a place where there ought to be an environment for learning, not an environment for rioting. This is crazy stuff. And I hope that people of America start waking up. You hear this phrase, the wrong side of history. Well, let me just say, these rioters are on the wrong side of history. This never ends well for them, and they ought to do a little bit of historical study and realize that some of them should, and I hope will, end up in some serious years of consequence, such as incarceration, where they belong.
Well, speaking of that, Governor, here is what a Columbia protester thinks will happen to them if they get arrested. Watch this.
What will you guys do when the police come right in here and, end up maybe handcuffing people and arresting them?
We'll do what we always done. We'll get arrested, just like the criminals in the subway. They're always right back out in 24 hours.
What's your reaction to that, Governor? Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can, because he's exactly right. Alvin Bragg is so busy going after the former president for something that isn't even a crime, for total nonsense and a political attempt to just create chaos in the election system and influence an election. But he's not prosecuting people who are breaking into buildings and impeding the safe entry and study of students who have a right to be there. Did they check the student IDs to see were these real students or were they outside agitators? I know that seems like an anathema to some people on the left to actually look at a student ID or any photo ID, but that'd be a start, wouldn't it? And the endowments of these universities, they're humongous, into billions of dollars. I hope at the time this is over, the lawsuits will drain every bit of it and they'll learn a lesson.
You mentioned when it's over. What happens to the movement from here, Governor? Is this the end? Is this just the beginning?
No. No, I think it's the beginning. I think we're going to see it all through the summer. This is going to be like the so-called summer of love of 2020. But I certainly wouldn't want to book a ticket to Chicago during the Democrat convention. This is going to be a mess. And the left has invited it upon themselves by catering to the people who are absolutely just pure lunatics. There's no other way. These are people who hate America. They hate law and order. I'm not sure what it is exactly that they want, but other than the destruction of a free and open society. They want totalitarianism. They really don't, because when they get it, they're going to wish they didn't. It's the old classic statement, you're going to get what you want, but you're not going to want what you get.
Yeah, you know, Governor, it's so clear that President Biden is nervous to offend these protesters when they're not worried about offending him. I mean, they call him Genocide Joe left and right. Why is President Biden taking this stance?
I think he believes he's got to cater to these crazies on the left, particularly in states like Michigan, the so-called squad, who are openly supporting Hamas. First of all, that's insane. You wave a Palestinian flag and say that you're pro-Hamas. What you're saying is you're for the slaughter, the mutilation, the massacre of innocent people. You're for the sexual exploitation and the sexual violence that was inflicted upon hundreds of Israeli women on October the 7th. And if you can openly say you support that, you're one sick puppy. You need some help. And I don't know if it's just incarceration, counseling, or mental health facilities in which you're locked up so you don't get out on the street and spew that garbage. But anyone who understands what happened October 7th, anybody who realizes Hamas is still holding American hostages that Joe barely ever talks about, if ever, that's what these students, whether they know it or not, that's what they're begging for. They're begging for hate-filled tirades against people because they're Jewish. And I just think every decent American needs to stand up and say, we're all Jewish these days. We're all standing together against this craziness.
Governor Mike Huckabee, thank you for your insights. And what I find fascinating about what you just said, you would assume that Joe Biden would know. If somebody is putting the word genocide before your name, they're probably not pulling the lever for you come November. But apparently, Joe still thinks he has a shot. Governor Huckabee, we appreciate your time. As always, thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.